learn something from this. I'll take you back for a moment, my time as an undergraduate, as a student. And I don't know how many people have dealt with failure here before. I'll just be by myself. I'm the only one who failed. But there's this course. I don't know if anybody's heard it. Anybody heard of the course, Organic Chemistry? Yeah, I got shivers right down my back right here thinking about the class. Right, so you got to imagine I'm like a sophomore in college, and I'm on that track, that medicine school track, and I'm African, so if you got to either be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor. Anything else, what are you doing? So I'm like, okay, the doctor thing is on. That's what I'm gonna do. I walk into this class. It's called Organic Chemistry. It's the second test of the semester. Follow me. I go in. I study. I promise you, Jackson State family. I promise you, I studied. I go in. It's called McCosh Hall at Princeton University. I go in. You take the test. It's one of those scenes where it's kind of it's intimidating because 100 people take the test at the same time, right? So you're in there and you're like, all right. I'm like, he's done? Okay. Oh, y'all finished too, huh? Okay. I finish the test, right? I leave. Week passes, we get the test back, right? So not the professor, but the assistant professor comes in and gives me the test. She pulls me to the side. She goes, Isaac, she goes, did you know? She lets me look at it. She goes, did you know? Did you know there was another half to the test? Yeah, right. Yeah. Wow, yeah. I go, yes. Yes. I did all that I could. I filled out everything. Jackson State family, I gave it my all and I failed. I dropped the ball in another way to the point where they had to sit me down and go, are you sure you even are you ready for this? And it's funny now, but at the moment it was crushing. It was crushing because I was on one path to do one thing and life said no. And I'm like, man. What was funny about it was I switched. I came back. I'm like, all right, let me look back at what I really want to do. I look back at majors and I'm looking at sociology. So I switched because I really enjoy it. Like, I'm talking really enjoy it. I enjoyed the studying of relationships, building with people, of how we are so interconnected in our world. And I'm like, man, that's my nature. That's good. I remember I was in one class, and it was the only class where I did extra studying because I enjoyed it so much. You following me? So now I'm following a passion. I learned about this study called The Strength of Weak Ties by a professor named Mark Granovetter from Stanford University. He was talking about networking, how to cultivate personal and professional relationships for your personal development. I was reading, I was like, I like this. He was talking about how 70% of graduates, when they leave college, their first job is going to be through their own network. And many undergraduates never build great professional relationships, so that is why there is such underemployment at that space. I said, we're on to something. A couple years later, I returned to Princeton University and I start teaching the very principles that I was learning. Networking, how to build professional relationships and cultivate them in the right way, how to tap into the alumni database and reach out and listen to people's stories. The construct of an informational interview, I'm like, whoa, young people need to know this. It's not just about what you study when you're here. It's about the relationships that you build. This is how you put together a real career. I'm like, man, this is good information. 3 years later, I said, you know what? I'm done teaching it. Now I want to write a book about it. 10 chapters, 190 pages for young people. Self-published it. A year passes and I'm a best-selling author because, come on now. I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm trying to impress something upon you about embracing change. When we take our adversity and we turn it into our advantage. When we see something and we say, am I supposed to pivot? Was I supposed to fail just to cry in my own? Am I just supposed to sit here and cry about it? Or is he giving me something where he's saying, I'm going to pivot you and put you in a place, in a position that is absolutely destined for your talent and your greatness? I learned that the hard way, but I learned that. And now when I'm in situations, when I get to talk to young people, I get to say, you know what? I need you to know that whatever you're going through, don't just run from the adversities. Don't just tell me about the strengths and the highlights. Don't just tell me about the successes and where you went and how great it was. Tell me about the long nights where you thought you weren't going to make it. Tell me about the nights where you didn't know what to do and you had to pull from different resources to make it. Because those are the stories that are going to make you. Those are the stories that are going to shape you and mold you. Those are the things that really make us. And oftentimes we run from those. As individuals, as companies, as institutions, as organizations, we run from the things that scare us. We run from those stories. And I'm learning on my own journey, when you embrace your failures and you turn it into your story, it becomes your power. It becomes your power. If anybody's with me, talk back to me. It becomes your power. If you feel me, say yeah. If you feel me, say oh yeah. I love it. I love it.